So, hello and welcome back. Examples of carboxylic acids. Well, let's start with the very first one. If I just have a carbon and I double bond that carbon to oxygen, and at the same time I bond that same carbon to oxygen and hydrogen, when I see this thing over here, which is COOH, which looks like something called Cu, I've got 2 bonds, 3 bonds, and a 4th bond around the carbon atom, which now gives me all 4 bonds around it. This here, we see the functional group, and that's my functional group, right? I've got double bond O bonded to oxygen, bonded to hydrogen. That's my carbon. That tells me this is going to be the carboxyl functional group, and that's going to give me a carboxylic acid. Whenever carboxylic acid shows up, the name must end in oic acid. That's something that we know over there. It must end in oic acid, right? So let's name this. 1 carbon, meth. Single bonds between the carbon atoms, and well, that's it. Oic acid because of the functional group. Let's try another one. 1, 2 carbons. Double bond O bonded to oxygen, bonded to hydrogen. 4 bonds around that carbon. 1, 2, 3, 4 bonds around this carbon, and that gives me the following. 2 carbons. Let's name this baby. 1 carbon, 2 carbon, 2 carbons is eth. Single bonds between the carbon atoms gives me an. And, well, there's my functional group. Double bond O bonded to oxygen and hydrogen. That whole thing over there together gives me oic acid, right? I'm just going to remove that because it looks a little bit neater. Ethanoic acid, righto. Okay. Let's see, what else? Let's try 3 carbon atoms. Well, 1, 2, 3 carbon atoms. Double bond O over there, bonded to oxygen, bonded to hydrogen. There we go. Hydrogen, 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 and hydrogen atom. Well, as you can see, we've got 1, 2, 3 carbons. 3 carbons gives me prop. There are single bonds between my carbon atoms, so I say an. And I've got a double bond O which is the carbonyl group plus the hydroxyl group. Together they give me what we call the carboxyl group, and that tells me it's a carboxylic acid, so the name must end in oic acid. Okay, are we ready for another one? Let's take 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I'm going to put the double bond O on this side. O bonded to H like so. And there we go. Okay, let's do this a bit neater. Okay, so let's look at that. Let's look at what we've got over here. We're going to put this, remember your number closest to your functional group. In this case, it doesn't matter too much because we'll always find the carbon double bond O bonded to H as the end of the molecule, or at least for our purposes, this will hold true. Whenever I have 5 carbons, we know that that is going to be pent if we look at our naming summary sheet. Remember, it's meth, eth, prop, but, pent, hex, hept, oct, non, and dec. In this case, pent, 5 carbons, single bonds between the carbons, pentan. And because I've got this double bond O bonded to oxygen, bonded to hydrogen, that's going to give me pentanoic acid, right? And so there we go, pentanoic acid. Okay, now what I want you to do is give me the molecular formula, the structural formula, and the condensed structural formula of heptanoic acid. Okay, as a quick exercise. Do that on your own now before checking the next video.